It's been 1 year of the operations of the Office of the Special Prosecutor. What is the assessment and what can be done to improve its operations? My name is Kojo Ajman. Join me on this episode of News Connect on Citi TV as we speak to some stakeholders. Stay tuned.
I think that from where I'm sitting, it takes more than just setting up the office to ensure that it is really effective and efficient. If you set up an office and you don't give the office what it takes for the office to be able to function well, then in assessing the office, it's really difficult because who am I assessing? The special prosecutor or the office itself? So for me, I think it could have been better if proper structures had been put in place. And I think that, like one of the facilitators said, I think that we underestimated what it would take for that office to function properly. I think that our government had a good intention, but intention is not implementation.
I would say it's been a very slow process. It has dragged on much longer than most of us anticipated. But it is becoming more clearer to us that we potentially underestimated the scale and scope of work that was required to build the institution. And as we all know, in anti-corruption work, you need both strong leaders and strong institutions. And so we needed to have done a roadmap detailed enough to tell us what it would take to have the physical structures in place, to have the soft structures in terms of policies and protocols, to have the personnel in place. We probably should have benchmarked with other institutions that have traveled this course to establish how long did it take them to get to the point where they were in a position to run. And then maybe we would not have been in a situation where we are beating ourselves, saying that we haven't achieved much, even though the report suggests that there are constitutional and other legal provisions that have to be followed. There are specific challenges that the SPO has faced that they are grappling with, that they have resolved and they are moving on. So no, I wouldn't say it has failed. I would say that our expectations have been extremely high and probably a bit unrealistic in relation to actually the reality of what could have been achieved within the time frame.
I spoke to some of the speakers here, and the concentration was how the office can improve. But let's take a step back. Were we expecting too much from the Office of the Special Prosecutor, or we didn't manage our expectations?
Both. I think some of us got to really understand and appreciate it the more we had exchanges with the OSP, exchanges with government, about what exactly was needed to put up an office like that. I mean, I remember in one of the conversations we had with the Special Prosecutor when Civil Society visited, he pointed to the basic fact that he has police powers. Even if he goes to arrest somebody, he doesn't have an interrogation room because his 3 detectives that he had just gotten had taken over the boys' quarters where he was, because that's the only place they could go. So even if you brought a case and you say, go and where are you going to? And if you go and arrest a person, which kind of vehicle, is it a normal, and put them in? So there were just really basic things that we did not take account of. And that even if you added 5 more people, if you had 5 more lawyers, they would now have a room. So there was the basic thing that you needed a big place. And I think that those things open our eyes to the challenges and how to resolve them. And that was not also easy because government had to find a building that's suitable. Some of the buildings that were found, needed too much work and so on. So those were some of the issues that cropped up.
Well, I think that the office has not been able to meet the expectations of the people, the impression that was created that, once you set up the office, and especially when they appointed Mr. Majamidu, corruption, we are going to see people going to jail and money is being recovered. Unfortunately, the NPP has less than 2 years before the next elections, and we haven't yet seen that. Having said that, I don't think that we can blame the office or the people in the office for this delay. I think it is a bit of inadequate commitment from the part of the government, because the law was passed in December 2017, and one would have expected that there would be budgetary allocation to the office for 2018, but there was nothing in the 2018 budget for him. It was only this year that there was provision. And setting up an office is not like running a normal office. You are starting just from the ground. And so you need a lot of resources to set up the office. Even looking for the office premises, they weren't just walking into an office building. So you're looking for appropriate office or even resources to put at the office, to furnish the place, to recruit staff and all that. And the board was only inaugurated in July last year. So when you look at it, you cannot even say that it has been in office for up to 1 year. You see, because the prosecutor himself was appointed in February, deputy in May, and then July the board was inaugurated. So there has been a delay on the side of the government on all these things. And I think if we are to blame at all, we should be blaming the government for that delay.
We Ghanaians expected the office to be able to, and the executive to be able to effectively set up an office so we can have a very strong institution, and equally also have an institution investigating, prosecuting, all within a 1 year period. I think that is something we missed the opportunity to have done. I'm not saying because of that the public should not continue having high expectations. The high expectation is coming from the fact that we are all tired with the negative effects of corruption on our democracy and on development. So we want something to be seen, to be done. And now that we are some way getting an office properly set up, I'm sure in subsequent assessments by the civil society organizations as done today, we should be able to see more things done, because people are expecting to see more investigations conducted and more prosecutions happening.
What then should be done to improve the operations of the Office of the Special Prosecutor?
I think that the various agencies, the Ministry of Finance, the Attorney General's Department should facilitate that work. It has even come up that even the agencies are not talking to each other, because you see, the Office of the Special Prosecutor would necessarily do things that other agencies are doing. What is the collaboration between them? You read some stories in the newspapers, and there are cases where the it's been given to the Special Prosecutor, but other agencies are also investigating. What is the collaboration? There needs to be better collaboration between the agencies. There needs to be better financing. Without resources, without the manpower, I think that it will just be something on paper, and we'll just be talking about it and be saying that the man is not delivering when we as a people have not given him what it takes to deliver. And I think that we should temper our expectations. The fact that we think that somebody is corrupt, you need evidence. You see, in prosecutions, if you don't have evidence, the case might look good on the face of it, but what is your evidence? And it takes time to get evidence to be able to prosecute a case. So going forward, I think we should be supportive. We should ensure that government gives the office what it needs to do the work. And then the office itself should also be proactive in disclosing information.
So stakeholders have argued that government should provide the needed infrastructure to strengthen the Office of the Special Prosecutor for it to be effective. That'll be all for this episode of News Connect on Citi TV. My name is Kojo Ajuman. Keep watching Citi TV.